One of the things about this topic, your textbook is going to go into great detail about vision, okay? Make sure that you follow along with the study guide so you'll know what parts I want you to know, because it's going to get into like the bleaching process, how we go from like the light to the dark using the rhodopsin, iodopsin, and stuff like that. That's not us, okay? If you're going to go into ophthalmology school, yes, okay, but for our purposes, we're going to kind of just keep it simple. So vision is our sight, and it is the perception of what we see based on the light something emits. For example, can I use this? When I see this, all right, I'm seeing the colors that are here because this is what the light is showing or emitting back to me. Now, do all of us in here see this exact same color? Probably not, okay? We're going to see a couple of different shades of it. So, but when we look at it, probably we'd all say red in some way. So it's based on what is the light that is being emitted. And the light that we get, have y'all ever heard of the photons, the little packets of light coming to us from the sun? And this is making up what we can see of that energy coming to us from the sun. The part we can see is only a small portion, known as the electromagnetic spectrum. It's only a small portion of all the energy getting to us. And one of the things that we're going to see from 400 to 700 nanometers. This is known as Roy G. Biv. Has everybody heard that? Okay. Now, in your textbook, there are lots of accessory structures of the eye. Look over those, be able to label them, okay? Because anatomy is important. We're going to focus on the parts that we need to understand, okay? But in the view of the eye, these are important parts. We're going to see cornea is important, pupils important, the lens is important. We have chambers in the eye. We have an anterior and a posterior. One is watery based, one is gel based, okay? We have, now something that's interesting are these little suspensory ligaments and this ciliary body, because that's going to help your lens be able to change shape for light coming in and to help you focus and so forth. The ora serrata is just another structure around the back of the lens. But when we look at the eyeball, okay, that tough outer coating is our sclera. We have the choroid. We have our retina. The retina is the neural component of the eye. All right, that's how it's referred to. It is the neural component, meaning nerves. Okay. So I hope they're all right. Now, in this area, we have quite a few things that are going to play a part in vision. We're going to see that we have an area of macula. We're going to have the fovea centralis. We're going to have what's known as our optic disc. This is a representative of our optic nerve with the artery and the vein that supply it. Some of these are I'm sure you've probably heard of different issues that might go along with these parts of the eye, okay, like scleritis, That will let you know something's wrong with the sclera, retinitis, the retina. Okay, so there are different issues that go along with it. One of the things about the eye, like everything that we've pretty much discussed up to this point, there's 3 layers. And this is no different. We have an outer, middle, and inner layer. The outer, and they call them tunics, you know, like a jacket, okay? Outer tunic is our fibrous layer. Now remember, in our bodies, 3 types of fibers: collagen, elastic, reticular. Collagen, of course, is the toughest, okay? So this is going to be a layer that is going to have a lot of collagen fibers because it is a very tough outer layer. This model that we have right here is not the best because it tends to fall apart very easily, but it's hopefully kind of giving you an idea of the sclera, this outer layer, okay? The sclera is tough, gives protection, and also is the point of attachment for the muscles of the eye. The muscles of the eye, did y'all have to learn those in part 1, or did you kind of just gloss over them? Probably just gloss over them. One of the things to note about the muscles of the eye, okay, the muscles of the eye are very well innervated, and these muscles are relatively small, okay, and they're very precise because their movement has to be, their movement has to be very precise. The cornea, we're going to see that transparent region, and it's kind of falling over here, and I don't want to do too much with it because, like I said, it's a very delicate model for some reason. In our middle tunic, we call this the vascular layer, vascular vessels, okay? So, this vascular layer, it has some regions: the choroid, the ciliary, the iris. Choroid, very vascular, which the eye is, okay? It's a very busy organ, to say the least, okay? It's also a very deeply pigmented layer. It actually looks iridescent. Looks like all these different colors when you cut open an eye. The ciliary body, that little part that I kind of pointed to at the top, that is a muscular ring around the lens, and then it'll support the iris, and it will help secrete aqueous humor. Aqueous humor is this watery type fluid to the front of the eye. Gets to wash over and do all that sort of stuff, continuously made, that sort of thing, over the eye. And then, of course, our iris, which is going to be, the control over that pupil. The innermost tunic is our retina, the neural component, meaning it's starting, that's the nerves. And it's going to be going into the optic nerve. One of the things about the optic nerve is huge. Okay? So as we look at the structure of it, when we say it's huge, it's huge. Out of the back of the eye, no matter, whatever animal you might be dissecting, okay, that optic nerve will always be a very big, tough nerve. mainly because it's working pretty much 24/7, 365, 366 if it's a leap year. So, you know, it's working, taking in tons of information all the time. So these three layers, outer, middle, inner. The goal, take that light in that 400 to 700 nanometer range. Red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Okay? And based on chemistry, give us the stuff that we see. So, we have to take these components, and they have to take those rays of light, and they have to begin to do stuff to those rays of light so that we can have vision. So, these optical components, optical, think of the eye doctor, so think of the seeing, okay? The optical components, they're transparent, they emit the light rays, they can bend them, or the term is refract, and then focus that image on the retina. So these optical components are going to be my cornea, my aqueous humor, my lens, and the vitreous body. Our lens, it's a very, it has a lot of protein. It's tough. When you dissect an eye and you take the lens out, you can actually be like into the lens because it is so tough, all right? And when you're very young, the lens is very flexible, okay? It can change shape where it's, you know, the flattened, these fibers and everything that make it up, okay? The ligaments that are holding it will help it to flatten, change shape, whatever it needs to do to refract the light, okay? But as we get older, those things don't work as good anymore, okay? Whereas like, you know, younger, you could probably, I don't know, stand here and still read that chart over there at like the bottom line, okay? You get to be my age, you stand here, you're lucky if you make it to the fourth line, okay? And then it becomes the issue of where you're doing this number to try to read, and then you go to the doctor, and they bring out those terms like bifocals. And then I love this one, progressives. Call it what it is, a trifocal. Okay, that's what it is. I love those terms. And you have to get them and you're to try to see, you know, oh, it's so much fun. So these parts, okay, young and everything, great. But yes, age will begin to affect them. That's going to begin to affect the way that we can refract that light and therefore get images and get clear images, because there's a difference, okay? Because getting an image, yeah, seeing, okay, is great, all right? Like, I can make out that those are the arm models back there at the back. Those are the models for like the spinal cord, central nervous system, okay? But can I make out clarity of them? No, okay? Can I make out clarity of this cup right now? Yes, at that distance. Okay, can I borrow the cup? But now, for me, when it's this